Today, on part 2 of the movement of Canadian National 1395, we now have the locomotive in position for its display. Now it's time to move on to its tender. Though the tender is a lot smaller and lighter than the locomotive, it's still just as delicate to handle. Before it can be lifted, it must be pushed into position for the move. The traffic guard stands at the ready to make sure everyone is safe, and the railroad's prime motive power, number 7209, pushes the tender into position to be lifted into the air. The first job that must be done is to separate the tender tank from the frame. This allows the tender frame to be moved safely into position. Once the tank was carefully placed out of the way, the frame was then secured with straps. This job must also be done very delicately because the tender trucks, or the wheels as you can see, were designed solely to just have the frame rest on the 2 pins in the center, and then chains would be connecting the frame to the trucks. Once those were secure, the frame could be lifted, turned into position just like the locomotive, and then moved onto the new display track. The crew kept a close eye, but thankfully, the tender frame was lowered onto the new display track. Now it's time to reunite the tank with the frame. This was done very gingerly, but thanks to the care and expertise of the team, it was slowly lowered into position without much fuss. And voila! Reunited, and it feels so good. I hope you learned a lot today and enjoyed this clip. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow for an interview with the owner of the locomotive.